"Amara, get off me!" he shouted, struggling to stand.
Some people enter your life smiling. Some call you sister and even act like family. But behind closed doors, they are counting what belongs to you. Today, I will tell you a story from a quiet compound about a tenant who came as a friend and how she almost destroyed a marriage. Stay till the end. The compound had its own rhythm: quiet mornings, busy evenings, and neighbors who respected each other's space. Nothing unusual ever happened there. That changed the day Amara arrived. A taxi pulled up at the gate early on a Saturday. A young woman stepped out, carrying 2 bags and a calm confidence. She was beautiful: clear skin, well-shaped brows, neatly braided hair, and a natural charm that made people turn twice when she walked past. The landlord welcomed her warmly and led her to her new apartment, the flat directly opposite Ngozi's home. Their doors faced each other closely enough that either woman could greet the other from inside their sitting rooms. Ngozi, known in the compound for her friendliness, helped Amara settle in. She swept the new room with her, showed her where to fetch water, and offered her a plate of food since the newcomer had arrived hungry and tired. Amara received every gesture with polite gratitude. She spoke softly. She smiled easily. Nothing about her raised any questions. Over the next few days, she blended into the compound quietly. She kept her space clean, fetched her own water, and exchanged greetings with neighbors. Sometimes, she sat outside in the evening to get fresh air, and Ngozi would join her for light conversation. Chike, Ngozi's husband, acknowledged Amara respectfully whenever paths crossed. Just a simple greeting at the gate or a nod when returning from work. Nothing more. Ngozi liked her. She even allowed Amara into her kitchen when cooking, letting her help chop vegetables or hold the baby for a moment. There was balance. There was trust. There was peace. At least, that was how it appeared. For now, Amara was just another tenant, beautiful, calm, and settling into her new environment without drawing any attention to herself. At first, Amara blended into the compound like she had lived there for years. She laughed with the neighbors, greeted politely, and helped Ngozi with small chores inside the house. She and Ngozi became close faster than anyone expected. They cooked together, they washed plates together, they shared gossip about the landlord, and complained when the water pump failed. Ngozi liked having other women around. It made her days feel lighter. Sometimes, Amara would hold the baby so Ngozi could rest her back or finish washing clothes. She even accompanied her to the market and carried half the load on their walk home. Ngozi would often say, "Amara, you are truly like a younger sister." Amara always smiled quietly when she heard that. As their bond grew, Amara became more comfortable inside their flat. She stopped knocking lightly at the door and knocked with confidence, like someone who belonged there. She sat on their couch. She entered their kitchen freely. She knew where Ngozi kept the salt, the plates, and the baby's diapers. Little by little, she became part of the daily routine. But there were moments, small ones, that made Chike uneasy. Sometimes, he returned from work and met Amara sitting inside with Ngozi, laughing loudly. Sometimes, she arrived while he was eating dinner, and instead of leaving, she sat and continued talking like she lived there. Sometimes, she watched him too closely when he walked past, though she always looked away fast. Chike tried to ignore the strange feeling. He didn't want to accuse anyone wrongly. One evening, after Amara left, he finally said something. "Ngozi, don't you think Amara spends too much time here?" Ngozi frowned playfully. "She's our neighbor. She doesn't have many friends yet. Let her feel welcome." "I'm not saying you should push her away," Chike replied gently. "I'm just saying there should be space." Ngozi waved it off. "You worry too much." And that was the end of the conversation. But things did not stop there. A few days later, Ngozi needed to buy medicines from the pharmacy. She asked Amara to watch the baby for just a few minutes. Amara agreed quickly. Too quickly. That evening when Chike returned early from work, he opened the door and saw Amara inside holding his child and humming softly. She turned to him with a smile that felt too familiar. "You came back early," she said. Chike forced a polite smile. "Yes, I wasn't feeling well." "How are you now?" she asked, stepping closer. "You look tired. Should I get you water?" He shook his head. "No, thank you." "Where is Ngozi?" "She went to the pharmacy. She'll be back soon," Amara said, still standing too close. Chike gently reached for his child. "Let me carry him." Amara handed the baby over but did not leave the room. She lingered, watching him, brushing her hair back, slowly, adjusting her wrapper more than necessary. The air felt uncomfortable. Chike remained quiet, waiting for her to leave on her own. She finally walked out, but not before turning around and giving him a look he could not explain. Later that night, when Ngozi returned, Amara kept praising Chike loudly. "Your husband is so caring. He's very gentle. He's so responsible." Ngozi smiled proudly. She didn't sense anything strange, but Chike felt the change. He started closing the door more often when alone. He kept conversations short. He avoided meeting Amara's eyes. Still, she kept coming, borrowing small things, returning imaginary items, ending up at their door at the exact moment Ngozi stepped out, offering unnecessary help, trying too hard to act innocent. Something was shifting, slowly but surely. Ngozi didn't see it. Chike didn't know how to explain. But the truth kept moving closer, and everything finally shattered one afternoon when Ngozi came home earlier than expected. She had forgotten her purse at home and simply came back to pick it up before continuing her errands. She pushed the compound gate open and walked towards her flat. When she reached her flat, she noticed her door was not properly closed. She paused for a moment, then reached for the door and pushed it open. As the door opened, a soft sound drifted out, a woman's voice. She pushed the door open gently, and the walls inside her chest went silent. In the middle of the sitting room, Amara was sitting on Chike's lap, her arms wrapped around his neck, her face close to his. Chike's hands were pushing her away, his face twisted in anger and panic. "Amara, get off me!" he shouted, struggling to stand. Amara held on tightly, trying to pull him back down. "Just listen to me first," she begged, her voice shaky. "Chike, please, just give me a chance." Chike shoved her arms off, but she grabbed his shirt again, desperate. The bag in Ngozi's hand dropped to the floor with a loud thud. Chike froze. Amara froze. Everything froze. Ngozi stared at them, her breath caught in her throat. Her voice came out in a sharp whisper. "Chike, what is this?" Chike jumped up immediately, stepping away from Amara like she had burnt him. "Ngozi, Mo, it's not what you think. She forced herself on me, I swear. I've been trying to get her off." Amara stood up slowly, her hair scattered from the struggle. She looked helpless, scared, caught. "Ngozi, I can explain," she stammered. "Explain what? I just saw you on my husband, in my house." Chike stepped forward, desperate. "Ngozi, please, listen." She came in asking for water. Before I knew what was happening, she sat on me. I kept trying to push her off. She locked the door. "I didn't do anything." Ngozi's legs felt weak. She held on to the wall to steady herself. She turned her eyes to Amara, eyes filled with disbelief, pain, and anger. She whispered, "After everything, after all the food you ate here, after all the trust I had for you, you came to my house to sit on my husband."
Amara broke into tears. "I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was confused. Ngozi took a step back, as if Amara's presence was poison. "You were confused? You walked into my house, closed the door, jumped on my husband. That is not confusion, that is wickedness. Chike nodded quickly, still shaking with panic. She wouldn't stop, Ngozi. I didn't touch her. I swear on everything. Amara sobbed loudly. Leave my house. Amara froze. Ngozi, please. I said leave, Ngozi repeated, firmer. Pick your things from my kitchen. Don't ever come back into this flat again. Amara walked to the door slowly, crying. She didn't argue. She just left. Ngozi stepped away from her husband, tears finally falling. I saw what I saw, but I also saw how you pushed her. Just give me time. She wiped her face roughly and sank into a chair. Chike sat a little distance away, giving her space while fighting his own shaking voice. At that day, one thing became clear. Not every friend is safe. Some come close only to destroy the home they admire.